Hi, Harry Payton. We're getting set up, and I have two guests here today, and both of the guests are around a very interesting subject. And in answer to your question, as we're about to go on, one of the guests was asking me a question. When we talk, you have the option of if you want to talk directly to the audience, you were talking to the camera, looking at the camera, much the same as I'm doing, or you can look at me, or you can look at Ms. Jackson. You know, either way is good. I've had guests. One guest years and years ago when I did another show, I told her about that, and I would say, Miss So-and-so, here's the question, and she just looked at the question. She never looked at me the whole time, and I just didn't cut her off because she felt more comfortable. So wherever way you feel comfortable is good, okay? Yes, and I'm going to have both guests introduce themselves and give a brief background on themselves, so that way the audience gets to know a little about yourself. Now, my mother would kill me, rest in peace, if I didn't start with Miss Jackson.
So, I'm Patty Jackson, and I became affiliated with New Jersey Sharing Network when my daughter passed away. She was hit by a stolen car in April 2011, and I made the decision to donate her organs. And since then, I've been volunteering, and now I'm an employee. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss Jackson. And Mr. Gerald?
Hello, my name is Keith Gerald. I'm a heart and liver recipient, and I started volunteering after my transplant 4 months, and I've been with the company ever since. And it's because of Zoe Jackson, Patty Jackson's daughter, because I'm alive, and donors like really making that sacrifice.
Right, fantastic. Okay, good. Then we're going to get into this, and it's a very interesting subject. And I explained, me and Ms. Jackson were talking off camera. And I explained, I do write, some of you know I write for, some newspapers, and I did the subject of organ donation, and someone read the article, thought it was a well-written article, thank you, and then they asked me if I would like to have some guests on the subject, and it certainly is a great idea. So I thank, I know Victoria Day and the other young lady who I'm going to forget your name, but you're out on maternity leave, so you know who you are. Big ups to both of you for highlighting both individuals so we can do this very good show. Now, Miss Jackson, today's show is about organ donation. You had shared a little bit of it, but can you share with our audience how the subject of organ donation impacted you in your life?
Well, when the baby passed away, my family made a decision to donate her organs because she died in such a tragic way.
Yes.
And we know there are people on the waiting list, and we knew if we donated her organs, she would be able to save the lives of other children.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she did. She went on, she saved the lives of 3 other children, and she saved those families. Like, the numbers in New Jersey, it's 4,000 people currently waiting.
Yeah.
But like Keith always says, it's not just that person waiting, it's their family, it's their mother, their friends, and these are children that my daughter was able to save. So by her doing that, she's impacted so many different communities just by me saying yes.
Yeah.
And it's helped me tremendously with how I've been able to deal with her death.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the information. Now, Mr. Gerald, can you tell our audience your personal journey? Now, as a host, I don't always get into the facts of everything, but did you just say that Ms. Jackson's daughter, as a donor, is part of your life now?
Well, no, it's just
okay.
the donors in general.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's that sacrifice that helps me.
Okay.
But it's greatly impacted my life. I always say my donor that gave me his heart and liver gave me not just those organs, but the opportunity to do so many great things. I was able to finish college.
Wow.
I was able to participate in transplant games in America, competing versus other people that had transplants. I was able to win 7 medals because of it.
Wow.
And before I couldn't walk around the block or do anything.
Yeah.
And it's because of that sacrifice and saying yes to organ donation, I was able to get my life back and have more life. And if it wasn't for my donor, I'll be 2 places. I'll be in the cemetery or still waiting in the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's because of those sacrifices.
Oh, that's great. And again, you had a heart and what was the other?
A liver.
A liver. Okay, great. And that's good to know. And again, you can see why this is such a great subject. I don't know how many people out there have thought about it. I know nowadays they make it available on your driver's license, and I know there are some other ways that they're making these things available. So it's quick and easy. When I say quick and easy, once you've made a decision, you don't have to go through major changes to implement it. So we'll discuss some of that because there may be some questions that an audience member may have, questions regarding religion, question regarding the invasiveness of it and things like that. And we'll discuss a lot of that as we go on with the show. Now another question, either person or both can answer. Why is organ, and I put / tissue because we'll discuss that also, donation important?
Oh, sure. It's important because when Patty said there's 4,000 people in New Jersey that are waiting organ tissue donation, right? Organ donation. Those people are dying, right? Every day nationwide, 22 people die because they're waiting for organ transplant. And in New Jersey, every 3 days, someone passes away for organ, waiting for a transplant. So these people are very extremely sick. People that are waiting heart transplants are usually on LVADs or usually on very toxic medication. People that are waiting for a kidney has to go to dialysis every so often. So these people are very sick, and we have the technology to do these transplants and we have the funding, but we just need people to sign up. We have the solution. So I think it's important just to become a donor, or if not a donor, have that conversation with your family about organ donation.
Great, and we'll get into that later. That's a very good point to have that discussion with your family. Anything, Ms. Jackson? Or you?
No.
Okay. Good. Now, what are some of the myths regarding organ / tissue donation?
Well, there's a lot of myths out there. Well, we found out, me and Patty, because we work in the schools so often, that once they're informed and they're educated about organ tissue donation, and once they hear our stories, they feel more inclined about organ and tissue donation.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot. I mean,
yeah.
One main one is out there is you're too old for organ donation. And it's been cases, my uncle donated his kidney to his brother at the age of 50 and still living today. We have one coworker, one volunteer that donated her kidney at 70. And it's on record that the oldest donor, I believe, was up to 90 years old.
Wow.
So it has nothing to really do with age. It's just the health of the person.
Okay.
So
Good,
simple,
good.
simple as that.
Now, of course, I wouldn't be a good host if I didn't come prepared for some of those.
Okay.
And, I did do the article, so, I did have some information on it. One of the myths, I have a medical condition, as you had just said, so I can't be a donor. But anyone, regardless of the age or medical history, can sign up to be a donor. You just consult with the doctor and physician. There are certain diseases which may preclude you, but the doctor certainly would know. So if you have those concerns, we have found out now age is not a deterrent. A medical condition, your specific medical condition, check with your doctor or a doctor to make sure. I don't think my religion supports it. That's one that certain people would have. Well, that's sacrilegious. That's cutting into God doesn't want you to do this, and things that people might say. Well, again, my research has revealed all major, not one, not two, all major religions, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Catholic, which is, still Christian, but all the major religions, Buddha, Hindu, all major religions have no objection to organ and tissue donation, because let's put it to the bottom line, is that you're saving your life. And my religion, which I happen to be a Baptist, teaches me that we are a spirit being. So once my body is no longer housed with my spirit, the body itself becomes useless until it gets with another spirit. So I don't want to get that very deep, but there is no religious objections to it. So that won't be one. I'll just give you one more as I go on. Oh, okay. Certain donations, you can donate your cornea, thank you, which relates to your eyes and certain other tissues. Now, they asked, my family won't be able to have an open casket funeral based on what may take place, and that's not true. Morticians are especially skilled at being able to do what has to be done. There's no reason that you can't have an open casket funeral. The worry about whether someone would take your organs and sell them, there are federal laws that prohibit that. If someone did that, they would be violating federal law. So again, I can't tell you that there are not people out there doing things like that, but I can tell you when the federal law gets into it, you better not mess with the federal government. And those of us who know the IRS and other federal institutions know the federal government does not play those things. So in other words, there are not a whole lot of reasons not to do it. We're going to discuss some more of the great reasons as we go on with another couple of questions. Well, guess what? We've come to the part where we're going to break and we're going to ask you, if you haven't already, call your friend, call your neighbor, let them know that the Irvington Now show is on. I think in coming on, I don't know if I even introduced myself, Harry Payton. I'm the host of the Irvington Now show. Those of you who have watched the show before know that. Those who are new, sometimes I forget. I've been suffering with allergies, and if my eyes and my lips look swollen, I'm sorry, I can't help it. But we had the show to do, and I had to do it. So maybe that's why I didn't introduce myself. We will be right back. Stay with us.